I feel like that's mic drop. I feel like we could just end the show here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Have a good day. That's it.
Welcome to the Love Seat. I'm Cameron Hamilton.
And I'm Lawrence B. Hamilton.
Now on the Love Seat, we talk about everything love, sex, and relationships, so come on and pull up a seat.
Okay, so before we get started, be sure that you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so every time that we release a video, you get a notification. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and share with all your friends so they can come join us next week.
Now, we have some big news this week. We are happy to announce that our book, Leap of Faith, is finally available for pre-order. So in this book, we talk about everything that led up to us getting cast on Love is Blind, all those behind the scenes secrets that weren't shown, and also everything that we did to make our marriage work over the last few years. So if you want to get an insight into these little secrets, you got to pick up a book. There's a link below in the description. You can pre-order the book, and we really appreciate you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you in advance, because we know that you guys are going to like it. You're always asking us about our life before Lib and things like that. So go ahead, grab the book, read all the tea, enjoy it. Since February is the month of love, guys, we are kicking it off with talking about romance and sex.
You know, Cameron is an anagram for romance.
That's nice, dear. So, February. You know, for a lot of us, it's really a reminder of our relationship status. Now, regardless of how you feel about that, you know, you really can't go anywhere without being reminded of how you're gonna spend your day of love. I love me. I love me. I love you.
I love you.
No, I love you.
I love you.
No, I love you so much. What? Oh, I hate him. Better give me something for Valentine's Day though. And just about every single store that you walk in really, you know, reminds you of either how much or how little sex and romance that you're getting in your life. So if you are in a relationship, living together, or whether you're quarantining with your boo, have you noticed a change in your sex life? If you said yes, then you guys are not alone. In a recent study by Indiana University, turns out that half of American adults reported that the pandemic has changed their sex life for the worse, guys. Also, according to an online study done by Love Honey, only about 32% of American adults have reported to be sexually happy during the pandemic. And get this, y'all, 19% of people said that they weren't having sex at all. So it's dry in a whole lot of homes, y'all.
Not good. So because of the fact that we're seeing less sex, I wanted to impart what I found has been very helpful for me in our sex life. Now, beforehand, I always used to focus on just what turned you on. You know, I was thinking about candles, maybe a romantic dinner, setting the mood with some music, but I figured out that it wasn't just about turning on the turn-ons, but it was also turning off the turn-offs.
Yeah.
So I noticed when you were stressed or tired or anxious about something you had to get done, you were less in the mood.
Yeah.
So I felt that what really worked well for us was when I was able to maybe take some responsibilities off your plate, you know, whether that's doing more to clean up around the house or working on the projects that we work on together, reducing your stress, I think has led to more intimacy in our relationship.
Yeah, because it's definitely hard to feel and get sexy when you're like stressed about work. Like I'm not even thinking about being touched. I'm trying to like clear my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's definitely Very good advice, honey. So
Thank you.
whoever needs that should take heed. And now it's time for our next segment, which we like to call
The Love Line.
And that's where we talk to you guys and we answer your questions directly. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So we have Jolliffe Connoisseur who asks, do you think that there should be a set waiting period for sex? Now, we did a poll to see what y'all thought about this answer, and the results were pretty surprising. So 57% said there's no need to wait for sex. You can dive right in as soon as you and your partner are ready. 29% said you should wait at least 3 months before having sex, and 14% said you should wait until marriage. Now, I should caveat this by saying that I had a lot of people who wrote in and gave very specific answers like you should wait a month, you should wait for 5 dates, and answers all across the board. So people have differing opinions, but the thing that I noticed in common was that everyone said it really depends on what you and your partner agree and what you're both comfortable with. And I think that's good advice. You know, you should talk to your partner, see what they think. You know, you should just be on the same page.
Yeah, I must say that I'm a little bit surprised that 57% said that there's no need to wait, only because of the climate that we're in right now, you know, with COVID. Right. And I just want to let y'all know that when you meet somebody, you know, it's almost like back in the day when you used to want somebody to take an STD test. Hopefully people are still doing that. I mean, you know, but it's like now it's like, can I see a COVID test results before you kiss somebody and get sexual with them? So just be careful, y'all, because, you know, dangerous out there.
Practice safe sex.
Absolutely.
Always.
All right, so now we have a question that is for Cam, and this question comes from Sing Brittany, and she says, oh, Cameron, I've been asking my boyfriend of 3 years to be more romantic. How can I get through to him? Please help.
All right, Sing Brittany, now that is a very good question. I would start off by first trying to emphasize when you see your boyfriend doing something that you really like, something you find romantic, even if it's a small gesture, like maybe they brought you your favorite candy or they just gave you a back rub. So just emphasizing those small things and saying, hey babe, I really like when you gave me a back rub the other day. That can kind of put the wheels in motion in their own mind and help them become more romantic because they're getting that positive reinforcement. Yep.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
I'm bored. Let's go on a date.
I'd love to, babe, but I really gotta finish this before Monday.
Oh. Hey, do you remember that time we went to that Italian restaurant?
Yeah.
And then afterwards we got a drink at that one place?
I remember.
And then do you remember how it was raining outside, so you gave me your jacket so my hair wouldn't get all wet?
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember what happened after?
I will go get my coat.
Great, let's go!
Now, if that's not really working, you might want to be a little bit more direct and be like, hey babe, how about we go out on a date on Friday? Or, you know, I'd really appreciate it if we just had a little bit more physical intimacy. You don't want to put your boyfriend on the defensive and say, hey, you never kiss me anymore, or you never take me out on dates. Now, if you try these things and it doesn't work, you have to kind of weigh this lack of romance against everything else in the relationship and really see, you know, what it means to you.
Yeah, that's a good answer, babe.
Thank you. So our next question is for Lauren, and this question comes from Juan Carlos, and he asks, my partner and I have different sexual turn-ons. How do we compromise?
Well, Juan Carlos, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say that I truly believe in sexual compatibility. I mean, it's okay for you guys to like different things, but if it gets to the point where it starts to become a problem in the relationship, like, for example, Juan, you might be a full-on freak. You know, maybe you like whips and chains and masks and all that stuff. And maybe your girl is just like, no, I just like missionary. I'm not into all that. Like, this is too much for me. Woo-wee. So, you know, I feel like when it comes to things like that, it's like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to work out because, you know, if one of you isn't getting what you really love in the bedroom, then it's like, someone's not satisfied. And when someone doesn't tend to be satisfied sexually in a relationship, sometimes they could keep going, but more times than not, they tend to look for satisfaction in other places, which we don't want. So what I'm gonna say to you, Juan, is maybe you guys can find some type of common ground. You know, I don't know, try some new stuff that maybe neither of you have tried before, and then maybe you'll find like a common sexy turn on. But other than that, if that doesn't work either, you may just need to find someone who's a little bit more, sexually compatible with you.
And that makes it all the more important that you communicate early on about what your sexual turn-ons and turn-offs are.
Not too early.
Maybe not too early, but when you get the ball rolling and it looks like things are gonna get a little more serious, gauge how comfortable they are talking about sex, and then you wanna sort of test the waters and see, because you don't wanna get too far into the relationship and then realize that you just are not sexually compatible.
So now it is time for our final question, and this time, guys, we're flipping it. We're asking you the question, and we're going to see your responses. So this question comes from Dinja, and she asked, is sex important if everything else is there? Here's what you guys had to say.
My name's Imani. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm dating, or engaged to a man. Been dating for 2 years, engaged for 1 year, and we have never had sex. Does have a lot to do with the fact that we are both Christians, but we were not both virgins when we got together. So I don't want anyone out there thinking that it's easy, but it's just a decision that we both made just because of our walks with the Lord when we first got together. It is so worth it. I feel like it made a lot of our decisions clearer. We are obsessed with each other. Couldn't be happier. Like, man of my dreams. And so, yeah, it's doable.
My answer is yes. I think that you should wait till marriage. I'm a born-again Christian, so I think it's just kind of a given that I would side with that. I think the best way to show somebody, hey, I chose you, is to give them something you literally can't give anybody else, and it's a message that says, I waited all my life for you.
So I think as long as that was communication, I'd be completely fine with it, and as long as the other aspects of my relationship was making me happy, I don't see why that would be an issue. Yeah, I just think it's really important to not invalidate someone's beliefs or understanding. And yeah, I think I'd be completely okay with it.
So thank you so much for your responses to that question. And I think it is a very, very important question to answer. Now, for our next segment, we want to talk to one of our favorite guests, Chantel Cohen. She's a relationship counselor, and we have some more questions about sex for her. So our audience has a lot of questions, and I think that one that really stood out to us was, what do you do in a situation where your partner wants to have more or less sex than you do, when there's a sort of an imbalance in the frequency?
Well, what comes to mind first is that you want to make sure that there's nothing going on. You want to be able to first identify that there is an issue. And you want to be able to talk to your partner about it. So it starts with a conversation. And you want to make sure that it's not right before your partner wants to go to bed. I know that that's a famous one. Well, we don't have any other time to talk. Make sure that you have a time on the weekend when you've got a little more time to talk about it, because it's a very sensitive subject. Yeah. But there could be a number of reasons why there's an imbalance there. And you want to make sure you address that first, because then it makes the way forward that much easier. There could be ED issues. There could be pain during intercourse. There could be past traumatic experiences sexually that could interfere as well. And so you want to be thinking about that before you start hitting your partner with, why are we not having sex? Hey, I just want to talk about this and explore it a little bit. Talk about the behavior. I noticed that things have dropped off a little bit, and I thought it would be important for us to talk about it. Why do you think that sex has dropped off? So that your partner's not automatically okay, I need to, they're coming out guns a-blazing. Well, you know what? If you were, then I wouldn't.
Right.
You're going to have your partner more open and receptive. So that's where I would start with the conversation. The next, let's say you've ruled all that out. And then I want you to start sort of asking, well, why haven't we made sex a priority? That would be a great question to start with. Because a lot of times it could also, if there are no physical issues, past traumas, that sort of thing, body image issues, porn, then you may be looking at stress, that they just got too much going on. And so now people are coming home and they're just all I want to do is play Candy Crush, or I just want to zone out in front of the television.
Right.
I can relate.
because it's a lot. It's a lot to have a relationship and a career, and how do you manage that? So talking about why haven't we made this a priority, because it then becomes an us issue rather than a partner like, well, this is all your fault kind of thing.
Right.
And then you can start strategizing together about how you can make the relationship better. A couple of things I would say, that if you've got one person who's saying, yeah, they're trying to give you the hint, or, they're walking by and, this is more for my men. Women don't necessarily like that as much, just, like kind of grabbing a breast or and so I would say that the first place to start after you've had the conversation is to begin with intimacy outside of the bedroom. Start kissing more. Send each other cute little text messages. Just flirt again. I mean, we've forgotten. It's like, okay, check, I'm in a relationship. Check, we're married. Check, my career's going. And now all I want to do is either focus on career or kids.
Yeah.
And we forget about each other, to flirt and to have fun. And so start outside the bedroom.
I feel like that's mic drop. I feel like we could just end the show here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Have a good day. That's it. But oh
Cut.
man, that's so good. We have one more question. So
Oh,
this
no.
is a question from one of our supporters, and they would like to know, how can they get their partner to open up more about being sexual, communicate their fantasies, turn-ons, turn-offs, and things like that?
So when you're trying to stimulate a conversation that has been sort of difficult to manage, you can, one, make it fun.
Yeah.
And choose a lazy day. So you can choose a time when you're in bed, and you can make it playful. You can, tease your partner a bit and say, hey, I was just wondering, make it playful above all. Not one of these like, where you've got a shining a light. Yeah, how do you feel about X?
Yeah, that's not
So very put on the spot.
Right.
Or you can have a game where you can write on different cards and ask things like, and you can ask like, what's your favorite position? Or what is a fantasy that you've never been able to tell me about? That sort of thing. So you can do 10 cards like that and kind of shuffle them around, and then you can each choose a card.
Ooh,
So you're both participating. You want to make sure that both of you are participating. If you want your partner to be vulnerable, you have to be willing to go there with them.
always with the gems, always with the jewels. Thank you so much. Oh, let people know how they can contact you and get more information about you.
I'm sure they're gonna be rushing over.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a whole inbox full.
Well, of course, they should subscribe to this YouTube channel with the Hamiltons. But please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Chantel Cohen, and I'll spell that because people always think it's Chantal. It's Chantel, and last name Cohen, Cohen. You can also follow us on Instagram at Chantel Cohen, and I think that's it. Oh, and also I have a couples program. If you want to know more tips about communication, go to becomeoneagain.com. I've got a great quiz that you can take. Just go under the materials tab and take it, and you'll find out all about your needs and your partner's needs.
Thank you so much
you so
again.
much.
Oh my God, such a delight. I always learn so much.
Yes, thank you so
Grateful.
much. This has been a lot of fun and very, very insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So thank you once again to Chantel for joining us and giving us those insights into sex. Sex is a very, very important part of relationships. We can't pretend like it's not. And
Yeah.
I think we've learned a lot here today.
I've definitely learned a lot. And mostly I just want to say that, guys, no matter what the statistics say, what other people say, what matters most is how you feel, you and your partner. As long as you guys are comfortable with what you do and how often you do it, then that's your business. And word to Tabitha Brown, okay? So, guys, just go out there, but be safe,
Yes.
and
Have fun.
have fun safely.
Safely. but have a lot of
Safely.
safe fun. So this has been The Love Seat. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you right back here very soon.
See you next time.